Let's jump into it, shall we? We've got this match coming up for you now. Isle of Dread is going to be our map. We're going to start getting into a new map for people that maybe haven't seen this. It's a new map here. I've been starting to learn it a little bit. It's still a challenge. I like Lost Hope a little bit more because it makes sense in my brain a little bit more. I like Isle of Dread more than I like Boneyard, though. But let's jump into it, shall we? Spawning up here in the north. Representing Infernals, it is Loulis. And spawning in the south, it's going to be our blue Celestial player, ilya. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this map. This is what you expect to see. Infernal players moving out and being aggressive against Celestials, finding out where they're moving out with their arc ship, where they're setting up here, and taking advantage of punishing that, right? So we see, let's get in here, let's try to scout and get as much information as possible and start dealing some damage here. So you're wondering, where is their defense? Well, they took their Morph Core and immediately turned it into this collection array. So this is their expansion, right? So they've got a second Morph Core here, and now it's going to be a little bit more dangerous. Oh, okay. Boom. Let's get things going. Our creation chamber going to be morphed in, coming up here. And this is that kind of lock-in positioning, something that we're seeing from our Celestial sides of thing of saying, yeah, this is it. This is the way that things are going to be working here is I'm going in and protecting this location as much as possible and kind of securing it with my SimCity style structures here. And Hexen going to be pushed back here, especially now that the Argents are out. So we could be able to use that and send it across and be able to deal some damage to the prisms if we want. It's a little bit harder though, but we're able to grab that little flower and heal up a bit here. So in the meantime, we do see kind of the response, wondering where the expansion was going to be taken. Would we go and be able to get additional stuff over here and go for that side of things or not? And we opted for the additional Luminite here. So we got the double Luminite mine here. We're going to be spending all of that to help us with our conclave and really kind of go for this additional bit of damage, which you need it if you're fighting against our Celestials. We know how scary it can be with our Morph Cores. And this is a nice little position I've been seeing if you have a flying unit like the Morph Core or the dogs that scout. Like, you can get in there and get information by placing your stuff here and kind of scouting and seeing what's going on here. But we're using this to get in here, scout, find out where our opponent is at, what they're doing. Ooh, our Argent count is getting pretty high now. Got to be careful though. The gaunts are low. One's going to go down very quickly. And these guys, look how slow they are. Can he get the recall? All right, he got the recall. Hexen stays alive. We lose some gaunts. They're glass cannons. It's okay. We're expecting that to happen. Now, Ritual Chamber, very important for our Infernal. They have changed it. They brought the infestability back into the game. It is currently locked behind an upgrade, though. So if you watch the early stages of Stormgate, you used to remember and see, wow, gaunts are so strong. They're just all about infesting things and swarming with fiends and stuff like that. You can do that. It's just not the same that it was before. And now we're going to be seeing a little bit of control taken here. Get the speed tower, which is going to be very important here. But at the same time, our next forward location is coming out here. With such a big map, this is going to be key. You need a forward location that you can warp from. And you see this kind of set here. It says, hey, any units that I'm producing, all right, they're going to be able to get warped in. You saw, oh, nothing popped out of here, right? Even though this thing is producing and building, it sets them up that they are going to build from one other location, right? Warp from one initial spot. And boom, we'll be able to start cleaning up these imps here. Bam! Big rush in with the gaunts here, and we're going to try to push these guys back here. We, of course, got the upgrade going on, but they do not have it yet. And now he sees the forward location, sees all the power banks. Remember how important we've talked about these are. These units need that energy in order to deal their maximum amount of damage here. Once they run out, their damage is reduced. So this forward location is going to be very tough to be able to deal with here. So we see a lot more gaunts getting added in here. Our upgrade is on the way. We're about halfway done. This is what we need. We need that extra little bit of infestation, but nice single targeting down, being able to just kind of shoot down and take out gaunt after gaunt after gaunt is going to be nice. Siphoning off half of the fighting force is going to be necessary here. But just using this forward position, poke in, fall back, reposition himself at this spot, refill that energy there, and be ready to go. And look at this. The arc ship is here to help provide additional power and also be able to continue to send prisms on back as we start to take over and get this additional base up and running. This one is very nice to be able to see as an additional one since we are having additional Luminite here, but we are now then going to be adding additional resources. But big push up here as we see these units trying to poke up, and now we start seeing the fiend infestation taking place here. As these units get weakened, they will get popped and turned into fiends, adding to the infernal army and the infernal numbers to allow him to keep these celestials at bay. This, of course, is going to be very nice additional meat farm. You need the supply, but also kind of having this kind of passive defensive units to kind of help out here. But let's build up and get some speed going. That'll be nice. And now, of course, you could be able to heal up here, but doesn't want to get too far away, but just needs that speed to kind of zip in, get some snipes, zip out. Oh, we're trying to find an angle to get in here. Look at him trying to sneak his way behind those Luminite mines, but not really able to do too much with that. So he will kind of reposition here. Now, the thing about this map is it is very large. We know that there's this central location, this fighting spot right here, but there's still all the stuff on the left-hand side that we could be worried about, additional bases, things like that, that, you know, he needs to kind of be aware of. If that ends up going that way, we're getting quite a lot of Luminite built up. But there we go. A meat farm going to get targeted down, and we do have the Fell Hogs kind of helping to add a little bit of extra damage. But where is the rest of the army? A little bit late in here, and adding extra Hexen in here is a nice little choice. Of course, we do get those little skulls that you see them produce. That's a little bit of spell that will deal damage, reveals those units, and infects them for a short period of time. But the real thing we're talking about is this information here. We do know that there is a little bit of a mining base here. I don't know if he scouted the Therium mines, but that's okay. More prisms coming out here. But he's really locked in on this defense. We know that this is the forward location here. And yeah, look at this. Boom. Pokes, backs up. Pokes, backs up. Pokes, backs up. This play style here, if you want to learn Celestials, this is what you have to learn how to do. You have to learn how to create forward locations of this is my spot. Now, if there was a way for Loulis to be able to get in there and deal damage at some of these other locations, it could be a problem. But you notice these power banks, you see these strike nodes, we know that it's not an easy little spot for him to get in and do some sniping at. This is something that the difference between someone that has been grinding Celestials and learning it compared to just like your average person on the ladder, just learning how the faction works. Kree getting added in here for that little bit of extra dive damage, a little bit of extra explosion. And look at this, getting right on top of this army. And that's exactly what you want to see, because look, he can just put these right by the mines and we'll be able to explode, dealing extra damage to the MCR. But we're creating a wall. That's our goal right now, is okay, we know the forward location is here. We just got to be able to deal with it. And nope. That was that kind of select all army function there. Let's get everybody back. We'll go for a nice big push. And there, boom, you saw the little skulls getting added in here. We see when they're hit, they get the reveal. So we know exactly where the army is. But strike nodes are those little bit of towers, the cannons there to help protect. And actually, he can hit the mine from there. Oh, the Morph Core adding vision here, helping out. And look at this. He's destroying trees and being able to kind of just move himself forward little by little. Puts the link node down, turns that into a nice little strike node, which upgrades it into a tower. So this forward positioning here, very strong, very powerful, very tough to deal with, and going to end up actually forcing our Infernal player away. Luckily, he was able to secure this base during all of this time here, so it's not as bad, but it is going to be tough. In the meantime, we're going to be seeing additional upgrades get added in here. We're going to be seeing additional conclaves powering up, and really just kind of all in on the Gaunt. You need that power that they provide. You need that infestation that they provide, but you've got to be ready, because he knows that this location is not going to be able to remain here. Oh, the rollout. Looks like he was trying to go for a nice little flank, trap this army in here, but it is not going to be enough to actually take out this army. And be careful with the explosions. Ooh. That's exactly why you add the Kree into your army here. And there, look, a couple more imps get added in here. The Fellhogs, not sure what to do with their lives, are kind of stuck. I don't know if there's a spot that you can put maybe a tower like right around here that'll be okay, but oh, the Kree getting caught. We see them. They're trying to run and zip their way around. So this is kind of going to be an option here. Hey, you can go this route. Oh, tried for an infestation, but there's the reveal. We see that quick Shroud Stone get added into the mix here, and Imp's going to get sliced and diced and taken out. And look at this, just right clicks this army right on top of this shrine here and says, I'm taking this out, I'm going for it, let's do it, let's do the dive, and does not take it out, but that's okay. We knew exactly where our opponent's army were, so that means that Don Ilya is able to kind of reposition, snipe this base, and refocus and retreat on out. He did the damage that he wanted to do, but another base is coming up in the meantime. Now, at some point, oh, now we go. Okay, it's like some point we need that higher tech to help us deal with this army. Those Magmadons are perfect in this situation based on the army that our opponent has. And look at this. Let's get in here. Let's break some trees. Let's heal up a little bit here. Our army is a little bit weak. We need to make this happen. And there, boom, takes this. And that gives that information to Don Ilya. Oh, are you moving across the map? What are you doing here? And the Fiends are. That's what this big line is, giving the information to say, hey, let's go find these bases. Let's go deal some damage. And you see them just kind of moving around. We know that there is this base here, and this is the most undefended base. So this one is going to be vulnerable. We'll end up losing this Therium mine that's here, but that's about it. There's not much else at this base. Yeah, we do have the prisms, but the Fiends aren't really going to be dealing with it. But oh, he hasn't gone over there to mess with it yet. So repositioning, making sure. We know that there are a couple of bases, though. This is the most secure one. We know that this is here nice and secure, and this forward location that's not a base at this point in time, but he could try to push up and take over this location if he really wanted to keep going forward. But we see the Kree going to start rolling in, but the army getting caught. The Kree sees it, and now we got to see what is Don Ilya's decision. How is he going to deal with this? Because now this base is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, of course, the strike nodes, very helpful, very nice to be able to defend against this here. And you see, of course, the power banks making sure that this is not going to get cleaned up very quickly, but will force Don Ilya to come. And oh, big reveal. Look at this. Activating that ability, he saw exactly where the army is. You get an idea on this map of how it works, but oh, jumping right on top of the Gauns, half that army just got sliced in half, and we see the Magmadons slamming their way forward, trying to get in there. Big infestation get dropped down, and look at this, the Fiends coming in from the back. He is getting the full surround that he needed there, and a lot of these units getting really hurt there, but another nice activation, going to make sure to try to keep these units alive as much as possible. But there's the big surround. The Stutter stepping the Gauns forward here, and will be able to clean up the rest of this army here, and supplies plummet down to 50. Loulis sitting at 120 here, and looking just for that perfect location, and will be able to get the GG there. Loulis taking the series there, moving up 4-2. What a game. What a game. I like that one. That one was a good one. Like, we got to see kind of, as an Infernal player, how to respond and deal with it, saying, I'm going to get as much advantage out of that double mine as I can. I'm not going to overcommit. I'm not going to lose my units haphazardly. I'm just going to make sure I'm paying attention, keeping track of things, and then I'm ready to evacuate the imps when it's time and move them over to the other side of the map for that next mining location, and be ready to go and set up for a nice little push. The Magmadons are crucial for making sure that he can be able to win those fights by being able to send himself in there and use that slam ability to start stunning, slowing those units down, preventing them from running away. The infest ability was crucial there for that last little fight. The Fiends coming in for the flank. So saving those Fiends, instead of going, I'm going to go attack these mining locations, I'm going to go run around and do these things, I'm going to needlessly send my troops over to your natural, which I know you have those towers there. It's going to be tough to kind of break. He could have very easily tried to commit there and push that, but said, no, I'm going to force you to come to me, and we'll have a little battle in the center of the map there. So very cool, very nice positioning for both players. But we'll see who is going to be moving on.